So here's my Monster kit, very well packaged, very nicely finished, zero complaints so far, but we will see how it fits once I start assembly. Alright, so I couldn't wait, I had to put the first piece on, just had to see how it fit, and if there was anything, any defects, anything didn't line up, it fit perfect. It looks so cool. I really can't wait to get this whole thing green and then figure out what I'm gonna do with the tank. But I'm gonna do a few of the little pieces first to kind of see how fitment goes. It's gonna get dark soon, but it's that next piece I'm gonna put on. And it's got the brackets for the lines all in. See how everything lines up and keep going. Okay, second piece is on. Fit is not bad, not too shabby. I will say the retainers for the ABS wire are not as clean as the factory ones were. There was still some flashing, had to be knocked out, and they're not as there's not as much room. Some of them might be a little tighter than the originals. So make sure to take your time, screwdriver, pick, pry them a little bit, get the wire in, make sure the flashing is clear. But otherwise, pretty straightforward. Honestly, can't complain considering just how inexpensive these Monster Fairings are. I mean, for the price, it's I think ridiculously good quality for how cheap they are. So let's see how the rest goes. Okay, here we are stripped down. Tail section's installed and the front fender's installed. Everything else is pulled apart. I'm gonna take a minute to go over stuff, make sure everything's tight, make sure no bolts are missing, make sure we're topped off with coolant. Great opportunity to do that. And then swap over some brackets and some screw clips and stuff and start getting it back together and see what it looks like. It's gonna be Christmas tree for now because the tank's staying red till I figure out what I want to do with it. We'll go from there. So if there's one thing I can suggest if you're doing Monster Fairings install is these grommets right here. So order yourself a whole bunch of new grommets. There's two different types in the fairings. There's a larger one. There's a bunch of these. There's two smaller grommets. Order yourself screws. Again, the grommets are cheap. Order the screws for the gas tank. Order all the different screws. You can get them from any online Ducati dealership. You can get them. I ordered all of my stuff from Ducati Omaha. But I would definitely suggest ordering this stuff because the rubber, it gets hard. It tears just in normal use. Make sure everything's lubricated when it's going back together. And it'll just make the whole assembly a lot nicer, a lot easier, and it'll just fit together the way it's supposed to. So that's one suggestion I have for the Monster Fairings. So here's an example of the rubber grommets that I'm talking about. They go on the larger side fairing. So one of which is up where the gas tank piece goes, and this is the simple one. This one, you can install this anytime you want. That's not a big deal. You know, shove it in place, use a screwdriver, be careful with it, but this one's easy to replace. This one's not a problem at all. It's something you can replace at any given time. However, over here, this is one that'll go under the gas tank, and this is one that, you know, you pretty much have one chance to replace it. Your chance is while you have everything apart. And you know, oftentimes people, will you notice it if it's screwed up? I don't know. I've put my own bike together with these pieces not in the best of condition, and do you really notice it? No. But if you're like me, where you want everything to be just right, as cheap as these things are, it doesn't make sense not to replace them. It really doesn't. You just do it. Just get it out of the way. And it's one less thing you'll have to worry about. But that's one of the things with the Monster Fairings that they don't offer you. These grommets and the pieces of dual lock 3M, you'll have to supply those, and I think that makes a huge difference in the overall installation of the panel. All right, finished up the Monster Fairings install, and this is kind of the design I'm going with. Overall, the finish is pretty good. There's a few things that are issues with it. You know, the gap down in here is not quite perfect, and the holes for some of the screws, like this one up in here, and there's another one down on the bottom of the fairings. They need to be enlarged. The front fender has grips in it for the ABS line. They aren't the same quality or the same, you know, machining. So some care needs to be taken when you're installing that. The screws that go inside here, they're not, it's not threaded like the factory. So if you kind of see inside, it's an 8mm self-tapping machine screw. But overall, considering what it is, the fit and finish is actually really good. Took all the stickers, everything lined up, and that's what we're going with. That's the new look.